Okay, what's up? This time, look, I'm promising you, this time I'm really gonna do a short video. Look at me. Look at me. This is trust right here. Okay? This is trust. I'm gonna make a short video. Okay, so I just thought I'd make this video. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It could be the day after Thanksgiving. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna drop it on. But basically, I know Thanksgiving can be tense for a lot of people. It's a lot of Thanksgivings where you might just have to choke a ninja out. You know what I'm saying? And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. We all do it. I know I have. Sometimes on Thanksgiving, somebody just says the perfect thing to make you mad, and you gotta just, you just gotta strangle somebody. I understand. But, as Christians, we gotta be better than this. You know what I'm saying? At that moment, it feels amazing to just let loose on somebody. Right? But like everything else of the flesh, like every other temptation of the flesh, that enjoyment is only temporary. And then you got to deal with the results of that. You have to deal with the repercussions and just the guilt and the bad feelings like, man, why did I do this? Why did I yell at this person? I wish I hadn't. Some of y'all are like, no, I'm glad I yelled at him. I feel better. But come on, we got to be better at that. The Bible says you got to walk in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Not in the flesh. Walk in the spirit, not in the flesh, right? It's so easy to succumb to our flesh, especially these days. You go online, everybody's bickering in the comment section. Everybody's got an article about why they're mad about this, that, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's angry all the time, right? But God doesn't call us to be like that, right? God is like, yo, if you want to walk with me, you need to be gentle, patient, loving. Some of y'all are screaming at your camera, I'm patient. You know what I'm saying? Bro, why are you screaming though if you're so patient? Anyway, so I just wanted to, give people, I don't know who's watching this video. Anybody out there's watching this video, you're worried about going to that Thanksgiving table tomorrow and meeting that family member that just gets under your skin. You know what I'm saying? I want to encourage you to, turn the other cheek. You know what I'm saying? I want to encourage you to, if that person wants to say something, a snide remark to you or get under your skin, just give them a smile and be like, oh, okay. And keep going about your day. Don't let somebody else ruin your day, your Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Don't let somebody get you outside of your box. The Bible teaches us to meet angry words with kind words. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because when you actually do that, it's funny how it affects the other person that's angry. Like when they're just raging at you or they're trying to get under your skin and you're just giving them kind remarks back and you're being loving back, it's interesting how that changes their attitude. You know what I mean? Because then they feel like, well, maybe I'm doing too much. I also can't undersell how good it is when somebody's angry, but you keep your peace. You're like, no, I'm gonna keep my peace. And then they're sitting there puzzled like, yo, why am I not getting to this person? Why are they so at peace right now? Oddly, you being at peace sometimes makes other people not at peace, which is interesting. Not that we want that. But it is interesting. A little satisfying. But yeah, here's what you gotta know. Just because somebody else is angry doesn't mean you gotta be angry. Just because somebody else is rude doesn't mean you gotta be rude. I know it's, look, hey, it's the first year of Trump, so I know that dinner table might be crazy, right? Because everybody's got strong opinions, Yo, beef at the grocery store costs $200, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, when you gotta pay $200 for beef, everybody's angry. You know what I'm saying? It's a tense time, man. It's a tense time in culture. You got the culture wars. Men hate women, women hate men. Conservatives hate liberals, and then we all gotta sit together at a Thanksgiving table and act like we like each other. But listen, that's what heaven's like, right? It's full of a bunch of people from different places, cultures, and genders, and they all got to get along, right? Because that's what God requires. Like you can't even see God if you're just at war with everybody, right? If you just hate everybody, you're not even gonna see God. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta learn to live at peace with people. The Bible says live at peace with people to the best of your ability. So the best of your ability is live at peace with people. It's a thing now where if you don't agree with somebody, you can't be around them. If you don't agree with somebody, you can't talk to them. I hate you. I'm cutting you off. You know what I'm saying? But it can't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Like the world can't operate like that. like you have to talk to people you don't agree with, right? And you don't have to agree with somebody to be their friend. Like now sometimes people say things that's like super crazy, and I understand why somebody would be uncomfortable around that person. You know what I'm saying? If your friend comes to you and they're just like, you know what, man, I've been thinking real hard about this, and I don't really like to look at them Asian people. Okay, that's somebody you might need to stay away from. That's somebody that you pray and you love them from afar, right? Well, for most things, we should be able to get over these small differences, even if it does upset us. There's so many verses also that warns people about not getting angry and warns people about not creating division, because God really hates it. Who causes division? The devil. The devil causes division. The devil's been causing division. He caused division in heaven and made a war, right? He caused division in the garden, right? And then Adam and Eve got kicked out. You know what I'm saying? That's what the devil does, right? At the end of the day, at the end of days, in the last days, right? The devil inspires the Antichrist to start this big war, right? That's his I don't know what that was. Satan, I rebuke you. I shouldn't have looked up when I said Satan. Satan, I rebuke you. That is causing division is just how the devil operates, right? So if that's how the devil operates, that's not how we want to operate, right? We don't want to cause division. We don't want to be like Satan. The people that you see causing division on earth, online, in politics, like just these angry people, these commentators that are on YouTube that are always screaming at people and judging people. Even a lot of the Christian YouTubers, their favorite thing is to grab a pastor's sermon and tell you why they don't like it and why this guy's going to hell. Well, these are things that the devil does, right? The devil judges people. The devil hurls accusations. The devil's bitter. The devil's angry, right? Don't be a child of Satan, right? Don't be a child of Satan. Be a child of God, right? You're gonna know where somebody's from by how they act most of the times, right? Right? You can spot a child of the devil, and you can spot a child of God. When people look at you, what do they see? Do they see a child of God, or do they see a child of the devil? Obviously, we all make mistakes, right? But you don't want to be somebody who's just blowing up everywhere, screaming at the Thanksgiving table. These aren't the things of God. That ain't the way. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the truth. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's lots of verses that in the Bible that tells you about how God expects his children to act. Let's read some of this. Philippians 2:14, do everything without grumbling and arguing, right? Timothy 2:33, have nothing to do with foolish and stupid arguments. The Lord's servants must not be quarrelsome, but must be gentle to everyone. That's convicting to almost anybody online that leaves a comment, right? Right? Because that's all people be doing in the comment section. Listen to this. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Isn't that the truth? If you meet aggression with aggression, all you're going to get is more aggression, right? But if you meet aggression with love, you might calm down the aggression, right? And even if you don't, they're going to sit there and wonder why this person is at peace, why this person is so loving. Show them where you're from. Show them who your father is based on how you act and behave and talk to people, right? Leave them wondering why, right? It affects people. Even if you don't know, it affects people. When you're gone, they're like, why were they so calm? That's the God in them, right? When people see you, they should see little pieces of God, right? They should see little reflections of God. We were made in his image after all, right? Look, Proverbs 17:14, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. Wise, man. These things are wise. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. Yo, and isn't it interesting that Paul, when he talks about anger, he says, don't let yourself be angry overnight, right? Don't give the devil a chance, right? Because the devil uses anger to make you sin further, right? Look at Cain. He got angry at his brother over something simple. Jealousy, right? Jealousy made him angry over something simple. And he took something real small, like offering, and then killed somebody over it. But he didn't need to kill anybody over it. And God even told him, hey, yo, check yourself, right? Because the devil's crouching like a lion waiting to attack. You know, sin wants to have you. Sin wants to have you. Don't let it. You have to master it. God said you have to master it. Don't let sin have you. Master it. Master your feelings. Even though somebody says something while you're eating your turkey that makes you upset, just master it. Just be calm. Say, I'm a child of the Most High God. You know, say, it is written. It is written. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. It is written. And then take that spoon, dip it in the sweet potatoes, and just eat it. And say, oh, interesting. So tell me what else is going on. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know what to do with that. Okay? They're not going to know what to do with that. Okay? Meet hate and anger and bitterness with love, man. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Look at this. James 1:19. I love James. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce righteousness God desires. You can't find righteousness when you're losing your temper, right? It only leads to sin. It only leads to harsh words. It only leads to you acting like somebody that you're not, right? Satisfy the spirit. Oh, no. Walk in the spirit and you will not satisfy the desires of the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Your flesh desires to master over you and make you lose control and make you give in to every temptation and every whim that's on your mind. But the spirit is like, no. Master that flesh and do what God does. Do as God does. Be holy, for I am holy. Right? It may not seem like it at the moment when it's happening, but you're going to be happy that you walked in the spirit and not in the flesh. Walking in the flesh always comes with negative repercussions. Always. Walking in the spirit, it just feels right. You just get that peace. You just get that peace. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't get, to get your little verbal jab off, even if you don't get the last word, you're at peace. Right? You know, you're the godly person at that table. You know what I mean? So I just want to inspire everybody this Thanksgiving, to just let it go. Okay? You don't got to choke nobody this Thanksgiving. Okay? You don't got to be on the 6 o'clock news if you don't want to. Okay? Walk in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Your flesh wants you on an episode of Jerry Springer. Okay? But your spirit wants you on an episode of Seventh Heaven. If you don't know what Seventh Heaven is, I can't help you. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope this video is short enough. I hope I didn't go too long. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Don't kill anybody.